Welcome to this week's Dream Car judging video here at BOTB. We'd now like to hand over to today's lawyer from Onside Law who'll oversee the proceedings.
My name is Santi Wilder from Onside Law, and I'll be overseeing the judging this morning. Firstly, I can confirm that the competition data has been already sent to the auditing company Assets. I would now like today's judges to introduce themselves and, using the secure link provided, mark on the screen where they think the centre of the ball should be. The group will then come to a final decision.
Good morning, my name is Matt Cannon. I'm a senior county referee and footballer.
Good morning, my name is Leo Donnellan. I'm an ex-professional football player, having been with Chelsea, Fulham and Leyton Orient.
Hello, my name's Wendy Martin. I've previously played for Tottenham Hotspur Ladies and currently play beach soccer for England and Team GB.
Good morning, my name's Hugh Gilroy. I'm a referee, mentor, tutor and observer.
My name's Renee Hector and I coach for Watford FC Women Development and I'm a coach for Tottenham Hotspur Foundation.
I'm Nigel Hicks. I've been a Supply League match official for over 30 years and I'm an experienced football administrator.
Hi, I'm Jenna Scalacci, retired professional footballer. I'm now operations manager at Tottenham Hotspur Academy.
Hi, my name is Kieran Fitzgibbon. I've played football for more than 30 years and I'm also a referee.
Judges, please now come to a final panel decision. For your reference, the larger white cross is the calculated average of the 8 individual selections.
Thank you, Santi. Good morning, everybody. Before I draw some lines in, I'm going to come to you, Leo. That's your green cross that's just magnified there. If you could just explain what you're seeing in the photograph, where you think the ball's coming into, what's happening, and then how you reached your decision, please.
Yeah. Morning, Matt.
Morning.
Yeah, I think the ball's dropping down onto the player in white. I think it's slightly going sort of left to right, but it's predominantly dropping down. I got my height from the player in blue. I think we've got quite a good view of his eye there. I think he's looking a little bit steeply. And he's moving into the ball. So I think he's late getting there and he's probably just sort of moving just to put the player in white off. I think the player in white, he's set. I think he's just going to punch this header away. I don't think he's necessarily going to jump. His left arm's up, so he's going to get a bit of thrust going from that. We've got a good view of both his eyes. And he's looking slightly to his right. But as I said, he's just waiting for the ball to come down. So, I cross-referenced both their eye lines, Matt, and that's how I got my position.
Great. So I will remember this week to draw some lines in straight away, up through mine ever so slightly to the right. And Kieran's a bit to the left. And then we've got a fairly bigger spread from the player in blue. So next I'll come to you, Kieran. There's your pink cross. What did you see?
Yeah, good morning. Thanks, Matt. I more or less agree exactly with what Leo has said. The only slight difference is that I didn't take a lot from the eye from the player in blue. I think he's perhaps looking, it may be in his peripheral vision with the ball. I think he knows he's not going to win the ball, as Leo said. And I think he's just coming in to try and make a bit of a nuisance and maybe put the player in white off. I took my position, which is slightly to the left of the rest of the judges, from the player in white's eyes. I think he's looking very much to his right, and particularly that eye, his left eye is right in the corner. And I think the ball is coming in, as Leo said, slightly from left to right, but at a little bit of an angle. So his hands are in an unusual position. I think he's just positioning his body without jumping, as Leo said, to get in position to reach this ball. And it's coming a little bit across him. So he's just moving his body around to be able to head the ball. But otherwise, I agree with what Leo said, and that's why I placed my cross in that position.
Okay, thank you. And then I'll come to you, Wendy. You're a little bit further up than the rest of us. There's your yellow cross that's magnified. What did you see in the shot?
Fairly similar. I think the player in white is favourite to win the ball. I think the ball's dropping in at quite a steep trajectory because of the way the player in white is looking up, looking quite steeply, is looking just sort of off to the right a little bit with his eyes. I think I felt he was still, his facial expression was still sort of quite relaxed, which is why I think I've gone a little bit further away, because it looks like he's just sort of watching the ball drop in still, as opposed to actually preparing to make contact at that point. So that's why I think I've gone a little bit further away. And also the player in blue, he's looking fairly straight, but his head is tilted back slightly, sort of at the neck. He's looking up, and I think he's got sort of half an eye on the player in white and half an eye on the ball, which is why he's maybe sort of looking more forward. So again, which is where I've gone just a little bit higher, because I felt he wasn't maybe looking directly at the ball. I thought he was looking maybe sort of between both player and the ball there as well.
Yeah, thank you. Next to yours, Leo, as I'll work my way down, is my own, the right. I thought the player in white's going to play the ball. He's going to head the ball. He's looking up. It's quite relaxed. And I agree with Leo. I don't think he's going to get off the floor. I think he's just going to punch the header. I thought the ball was slightly in front of the player in white, as I think the player in blue is. I think he's running towards the player, but he doesn't seem to be. I mean, he sort of seems to be like almost stopping. So he's just looking at the ball for my reckoning, and he's just going to watch it drop down on the player in white and not going to get anywhere close to him. And I've taken the eye line, although he's looking, we've got quite a lot of white in his eyes. His head's tilted round, and the ball's up to his, up above him to the right. And I've just taken a sort of 45-degree off this blue player as he's moving towards the ball. So as we move down, so Jenna, you're right in the middle of us all, the light blue cross. What did you see?
Yeah, quite similar to what's already been said. So I took a lot from the player in white, just looking at the whites on the side of his eyes and his head being tilted slightly. I've just taken 2 lines up from each eye and then a line up from his forehead. So that's where I've got my point going up. I felt the player in white was favourite to win the ball. The ball's dropping into him, but still felt he had a bit of a way to go, just given that he still looks like he's on the floor. He's got in his arm up ready to header. And I think someone said he's just going to power through it. So I agree with that. And then in terms of the player in blue, I think he's just trying to catch up. I don't think he's going to be able to get there and challenge in time. And I've just literally taken a line from the centre of his good eye across, and that's where my crosses have met, and I've got my height from.
Yeah, thanks. And as you're talking, I put in that middle that goes right through yours, through the calculated average and up to Wendy's.
Yeah,
I'll remove that and then put them back in a little bit later. Hugh, you're ever so slightly lower than Jenna's, but smack bang in the middle again. Did you agree with that?
Yeah, fully. Player in blue's just going to get there second for me. He's kind of, the tricky thing is it's hard to see from that distance, how far up he's looking, because his neck is back slightly. There is a little bit of white under his eye. So I took kind of most off the player in white, his shape, and the fact that he's favourite to play it again with his head, and I think he's looking over to his left, because you can see that's where his focus is, and I think it's still got a little bit for him to jump and meet it.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much. And the last two, Nigel, I'll come to you before I come to Renee. There's your purple cross, ever so slightly lower on the similar trajectory down to the white player. How did you reach your decision?
Much the same as morning, Matt. Good morning, everyone. Much the same as my colleagues. I hear very much what you said. I feel the same, that the player in blue and the ball are slightly in the foreground to the player in white. Given the angle of the player in white's head, he's tilted in his body shape. I think the ball is coming up, is in the foreground, and it's coming towards him. It's dropping down onto him. And that's his focus. Player in blue is trying to race across and reach the scene just before the player in white. But I make the player in white very much favourite for the ball. Taking that good cross trajectory, really. We've got the player in white who's sort of pretty much looking towards us and towards the ball. Player in blue is looking directly across, so I can take a view pretty much straight out from his head. He's got his head tilted back. We can see a bit of his eyelid, so his angle isn't looking too high for me. and where they meet is where I put my cross.
Yeah, lovely, thank you. And the last but not least is yours, Rennie. You're ever so slightly to the left and a little bit lower than Nigel's, but very close. What did you see?
Yeah, not too much to add, to be fair, from Nigel's explanation. Just mainly went with the eye lines today. I think the player in white is quite comfortable, balls dropping in, obviously looking quite far over to his right. But the player in blue, I didn't feel like he was looking too steeply. So just when I cross-referenced the eye lines, that's where I came to.
Okay, well, thank you all. So we're all in agreement that the white player's going to play the ball. Leo and myself punch headers. Others people think he's going to play it more powerfully. But we're also in agreement the ball's dropping pretty steeply towards him. And the blue player is on looking, although looks like he's in motion and maybe coming towards the player in white. He's not going to challenge before the player in white plays the ball. So the calculated average is shown here. And as we can see, Wendy's is completely outside. So as lead judge, and also because we're quite clustered in, I'm going to remove Wendy's. I'm also then going to redraw this last line to show we've got a narrow line up from both the player in white and the player in blue. And as I did before when Jenna was talking, if I put a line up from each player's nose, I think we're pretty much split with Jenna pretty much being a bullseye. There we go. And you see Hughes there. And then there's a good split top and bottom between the rest of us. So I'll go through you all just to clarify and to confirm that I, as lead judge, have removed Wendy's. And if you could have a look and see if you want this moved at all, or you're happy with indeed this calculated average. So Leo?
No, I think it's really, really good this morning, Matt.
Yep, great. Wendy, I know I removed you, but obviously it's important that we all talk about this.
Yeah, absolutely. And it is a very tight cluster there. And yeah, the average looks good there. So happy with that.
Hugh?
Yeah, happy with that. I think it's a good cluster, all tightly together.
Yeah. Rennie?
Yeah, happy.
Nigel?
Yeah, so I'm happy. That's a good average.
Yeah. Jenna, do you want it moved at all? Are you happy with this?
No, happy with that.
Yep. And Kieran?
Yeah, I'm happy with that, Matt. Thank you.
Okay. So Santi, after myself as lead judge removing Wendy's, we're going to judge at this calculated average with the remaining 7 choices taken into consideration.
Thank you all. If you're happy, please click submit. Thank you, judges. The coordinates that have been selected are x2980, y1060. These coordinates will now be passed to the auditing company ASETS to calculate the winner of the competition, and they will then inform BOTB. That then concludes the judging process. Thank you all.